The Easy Gourmet is sponsored by The Scoreboard Sports Bar and Grill. Come visit us at 15 Middlesex Canal Park in Woburn, 781-897-4000.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Easy Gourmet. I'm your host and chef Vinnie Ferlisi, and today we're going to be doing two meat entrees, and I'm really excited about them because they're two of my favorite. The first one is going to be a pork tenderloin with an apricot miso glaze, and the second one is going to be my take on that 1970s classic steak Diane. So why don't we get started? We'll do the pork tenderloin first. So I just want to preheat the oven to 425. And the next thing we want to do is make a glaze. What we want to do is we're going to use a few ingredients here. The first one is we need 5 tablespoons of apricot jam. You can roughly measure them. You don't have to be exactly 5. A little extra isn't going to hurt. We're going to be doing 2 pork tenderloins today, so a little extra won't hurt. That's about 5. And now we want an ingredient that you probably won't be able to get in the supermarket. You may have to go to a specialty store for it. It's miso, which is a fermented soybean paste. Concentrate it down. It's made from soybeans, and it has a kind of a salty, sort of creamy kind of taste and texture. But that's going to be going into this also. We need 1/4 cup of that. So we can roughly measure that. That's what I need a sous chef for, maybe the next show. Just let me get this out of the way. And next thing we need is a 1/4 cup of champagne vinegar. Make sure it's either white wine vinegar or champagne vinegar. We don't want to use white distilled vinegar. It's very strong. So I'm just going to roughly measure this. This glaze will be a little bit more of a kind of a sweet and sour with a little bit of tang from the vinegar. And we want a little bit of orange peel, like a 1/2 teaspoon or so. You could substitute orange marmalade for this instead of apricot, but the only thing is the skins may burn when we heat this up. So that's why we use apricot. And you just want just about a 1/2 teaspoon or so, whatever you can get up. Don't go down to the white because that is kind of bitter. Just some of the orange. And a clove of garlic. All you want to do is, again, your knife, the sharp side away from you, hit that with the back of your hand. Take the garlic paper off and just kind of roughly chop it. You don't have to mince it completely into small pieces, just kind of a rough chop. And what we want to do is we want to heat this so it all emulsifies. And this will be the glaze for the pork. Put it on medium-low heat, just to get all the ingredients blended together. And while that's blending, I'll prepare the meat. Get a roasting pan or a cookie sheet. And how you want to prepare this is you can either put, because we're using the apricot jam, the sugar content is high, so it's going to burn. So what I recommend is either using non-stick foil, which I have, or non-stick spray. Either one will work fine, but since we have the foil, we'll use that today. Just place that in into the bottom of your roasting pan or cookie sheet, whatever you prefer. And I have the pork tenderloins ready to go. They're roughly 2 pounds each. So what you want to do is you want to salt and pepper these before we put them into our roasting pan. Lightly salt them. And lightly pepper them. Both sides, as I always say, you should do both sides. Flavor all your food evenly. These pork tenderloins are considered the filet mignons of pork. They're very tender. They're very neutral in flavor, so the glaze that we're using is has that little bite to it, that little sweetness, and that little tang from the vinegar, so it goes well with the pork. So we just place those in the pan. There is a little thin side to them. They're not uniformly the same size, so the smaller end you can just tuck into the bottom underneath, so it won't burn or cook faster than the other portion. And those will be ready to go as soon as our glaze is ready. All you want to do, as I said, is just to get these flavors all emulsified and all together. We're just trying to melt the jam and have the miso soy paste all incorporated into it. Just another couple of seconds here. You might want to add a little pepper to this. And just add a couple of tablespoons or so onto the pork. Very easy. And we're just going to reserve a little bit of this after we turn them. And this is going to be our glaze. We're reserving a couple of tablespoons of glaze to put on the other side of the pork after we turn it after 15 minutes. And the glaze that's left over in the pan, I'm going to add a half of cup of chicken stock. What I will do is I'm going to reheat this again and boil this down to a thick syrup. And that'll be our glaze that we'll use after we have the pork sliced, and that's how it'll be served. So I'll put this back on low. I just want to give that a stir with my whisk. And this is going to take about 5 or 10 minutes to boil down into a thick syrup. So while that's happening, what I might want to do is, not what I might want to do is what I want to do. I'm just going to add a little bit of potatoes on the side here, so it'll be a complete meal. These potatoes are the red potatoes. They cook very fast, and as I said, the stove is on 425, so these aren't going to take very long to cook. You just put these in the corner. In the corners. Maybe we'll just add a little bit of oil on each of them. A little bit of salt. And these are ready to go in the oven. And like I say, we're going to go 15 minutes on one side, turn them, glaze them with the reserve sauce, and then it'll be another 15 minutes. You're trying to reach an internal temperature of 150, but considering the size of these, they're about 2 pounds or a little over. A half hour should be fine. And while that's going, I'll just move this to the back burner. I'm going to heat up my pan for our next dish, steak Diane. Steak Diane is a recipe that, as I said at the beginning of the show, it's from the 70s, but I've kind of simplified it more for this, for the show and for the Easy Gourmet. What you need first is 2 beef fillets. These are beef tenderloins. As you can see, there's not a lot of marbling, but they're very tender and they're very flavorful. And we're going to mix a sauce. We're going to mix some mushrooms with it. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to coat them with just a little bit of Dijon mustard. Just a little bit of Dijon, both sides. You don't have to overdo it unless you really like Dijon. Let's get rid of these. A little bit of salt, and not too much on these, because the Dijon is salty. A little bit of pepper. We're going to saute these to a medium rare as soon as our pan is hot. So you want to get that on medium high. And what I'm going to use instead of oil or butter, I'm going to use well, actually it is butter. It's called ghee, which is clarified butter. That's the butter that's left over after butter is melted, and there's usually some foam and some water byproducts that are left over. It's filtered out. And what I like about using this product, which also you can find in a specialty store, I'm thinking you probably could not find this in a regular supermarket. What I like about this is when you put it into a hot pan, it doesn't bubble, it doesn't burn. It doesn't really actually make any noise. It's almost like putting oil in your pan. So I like to use this when I'm frying meat or sauteing meat in the pan. I think it gives it a nice flavor, and it's a little safer than using regular butter, because like I say, butter does burn. So we'll use about a tablespoon or so, depending on how big your steaks are. We're using about a tablespoon. We want that to come up to temperature. We'll just put these in there. Like I said, we want these probably 5 minutes per side. Just get that a little hotter. And while we're waiting for that for those to cook, I have some mushrooms that I want to prepare. I have a portobello, which you want to take the stem out. These have been washed. Well, really you shouldn't wash them, but I've kind of rubbed them down to make sure there wasn't any grit on them. So we have portobello, and we have shiitake mushrooms. A nice variety of mushrooms in this recipe would be nice, rather than just using white button mushrooms. The shiitakes usually come with a stem. The stem is kind of rubbery, so what you want to do is you want to cut that off. And I'm not sure if it's really good for anything, not even soups or stocks. It's not even worth saving. So we'll just get rid of that. And just kind of slice those up. I think we might use half of this because it's so huge. And that's all you want to do. So just reserve those for a minute. We'll check on these. Check on our glaze. On our glaze, we're looking for a consistency that's pretty close to peanut butter, but not that thick, but pretty close.
The Easy Gourmet is sponsored by The Scoreboard Sports Bar and Grill. Come visit us at 15 Middlesex Canal Park in Woburn, 781-897-4600. 4000.
Okay, we can turn these. And we just want to prepare a couple of other items. We need a shallot. Just move this off to the side here for now. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with shallots, it's somewhere in between an onion and garlic, but it's a little more mild than either one, so they're kind of nice. They're very sweet once they cook. So I'm just going to add this as soon as I take the meat out to rest. Use about half that. And that's all set. We'll just check our meat. You make sure you do not want to overcook these. This is a nice steak to have raised, nice and crusty on each side, as you can see. And I think another minute or so we should be ready to take those off to let them rest while we do the rest of the dish. Our sauce is coming along fine here. What we want to do on the sauce again is we're trying to boil off all the liquid ingredients and have it come into a thick liquid, and that'll be our glaze. I think these are ready. Just keep that under a heat lamp. If you don't have a heat lamp, you can just tent them a little bit with aluminum foil, and that'll be just as good. So now what we want to do, in our pan, we're just going to add 2 slices of minced bacon. Lower your heat just a little for now. Your shallot. And your mushrooms. You want to cook those till the bacon's kind of cooked through somewhat and the mushrooms are cooked. At this point, you may have to add a little bit of oil, depends on how fatty your bacon is. But I think, I think I might add just a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of the ghee again, the clarified butter, just a little bit, just to make sure things don't burn. Add about another teaspoon. Again, you could use regular butter if you wanted to. The only thing is you have to watch out that it doesn't burn. There's potential that it could. And you can use regular oil too, like an oil that doesn't have a lot of flavor like canola oil. You don't want to add any more, add other flavors to it that you may not want in this dish. I'm just going to raise the heat up now because I think we're all right. This smells really good, really good. You want to do this till the mushrooms are kind of cooked through. It's okay to have them have a little bit of crunch to them. Just a little more, maybe another 30 seconds. And let's get rid of these. What we're going to do now, this looks pretty good. The bacon's cooked through. The mushrooms look pretty good. We're going to put the steaks back. And to bring it all together, we're going to use a little sauce. You can make it's a brown sauce called HP sauce. It's sort of sort of like brown gravy, but we're going to just use a little bit of this to bring the whole dish together. About a quarter of a cup. Now you want to pull this off the heat for 1 second. We're going to add a little brandy to finish it off. Never do this over the flame. About a quarter cup to a half a cup. And burn that alcohol off. You could add, this is just regular French brandy, but you could use Grand Marnier to give it a little bit of an orange flavor. But we're just going to go regular today. I need a dish for this. And my tongs. Just want to thicken that up, evaporate some of the moisture that's in the pan. And there is our first dish. My version, or the Easy Gourmet's version of Steak Diane. I have the sauce here. You can see the consistency now. I don't know if you can see that, how it's thickened up. It's reduced down to about a half a cup. So we had a half a cup of chicken stock and probably another cup or so of the miso and the jam, but now we have it reduced down to about a half a cup. So I think we're good on this. What we'll do is we're going to save this as a dipping sauce for the pork after it's sliced. And get rid of that.
The Easy Gourmet is sponsored by The Scoreboard Sports Bar and Grill. Come visit us at 15 Middlesex Canal Park in Woburn, 781-897-4000.
Okay, so we had on the pork tenderloins have cooked for 15 minutes. Now I want to turn them and glaze them. Glaze them on the bottom side. They look good. All you need is a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to use a brush, but you use whatever you have handy. And just put a little bit of that. As you can see, the potatoes are starting to crisp. These potatoes don't take long. I don't know if you can see this with the camera, but as I told you, see how the glaze burns. So that's why you need at least, at minimalist, to spray it down, even if it's a non-stick pan, or to put the non-stick foil on the bottom of your roasting pan. And now we have to wait another 15 minutes, and we should be good to go. And I think our 15 minutes is up, so I think our pork should be ready. Just shut that off. You can see the potatoes have browned, and the pork, we're looking for an internal temperature of 150. It would be good if you could get yourselves a instant read thermometer. This isn't digital, it's just a dial, but the digital ones are really nice. So we're taking this out now because we want it to continue cooking. It'll continue to cook don't know if you can hone in on that, but you can see it's about 150. And then we just want to take a little bit of regular aluminum foil and let these rest for about 10 minutes or so, then they'll be ready to cut. And that's it. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, and these look great. These really look great. We'll just take the potatoes off. This makes a great meal. I mean, it's all in one pan. You could make a salad with this. I wouldn't say you had to go crazy to make any more vegetables. But in the Easy Gourmet, you can do whatever you want. It's always chef's choice with me. Get a little bit of the glaze on top of the potatoes too, which is nice. I'll just take one of these off. This is okay to handle now. We have our clean knife. And you want to cut this on the bias, which is on an angle somewhat, to give it a little more of a better look. As you can see, that's perfect. See all the juices flowing out of that. And a little bit pink is fine. Because I think if we went any more on this, it would have dried out. There's not a lot of fat on these pork tenderloins, so you sort of have to keep an eye on them to make sure that they don't dry. But 15 minutes for a 2-pounder, 2.5-pounder. The 15 minutes per side is fine. And again, that was at 425. Just move this off to the side here. And you just want to dot that with a little sauce, with a little bit of the glaze. You could serve this on the side too. There's a little bit of a dipping sauce. And there you have it. Roast pork tenderloin with apricot miso dressing. Glaze. Apricot miso glaze. So that's our show for today. Again, to recap, we had the steak Diane. That was, like as I said a couple of times before, very popular in the 70s, but I kind of simplified the recipe and didn't take that long. I think it only took about 10 or 15 minutes. And this is very easy also. All you have to do is kind of prepare the sauce, which was a little bit of work, but I didn't think it was that bad. And only 15 minutes per side, and you kind of leave it in the oven. You don't really, it doesn't need a lot of attention. One thing I want to do before before we close today's show, a couple of things I want to do is I want to thank the Holiday Inn Select and the scoreboard for providing us with the food for me to prepare today. And I also want to mention that we have a website set up that if you have any questions, not necessarily on the shows that you've been watching, but any particular cooking question you may have, the website is wpmc.easygourmet@gmail.com. So if you have any questions about how to cook different things, I mean, the holidays are coming up. If anybody has any questions, you can email me, and hopefully I can answer them for you. So again, that's the Easy Gourmet, and we hope to see you on our next show. Take care, and again, as I always say, happy cooking.